それでは続きまして、自民党
Moving on to the next session, the member of the House of Representatives, Liberal Democratic Party, Mr. Takuya Hirai, will be speaking to us.
皆さんこんにちは。
Good afternoon, everyone.
自由民主党の平井。
I am from LDP. My name is Takuya Hirai. Thank you very much for inviting me to a wonderful conference. I've given 15 minutes, so I was thinking what to pick up as a topic. The government, legal frameworks, and also law, and also LDP, and also NFT. Maybe I can talk about a little bit of everything. From 2010, I've been involved in this area. And Science and Technology Minister, and also Digital Agency Minister. I assumed these positions. I didn't really work for the LDP's work, but other than that, I worked for the party. I remember when Bitcoin first came to Japan, then everybody started, what is Bitcoin? The FSA and also METI didn't really want to discuss about it because they're too risky. So my committee of LDP picked up Bitcoin, and also we created the word, the value record. So it is not the currency. It is not a currency. So when you buy something, or when you buy Bitcoin, the consumption tax was levied. But since then, the ministry modified the law, and now the Bitcoin is called a crypto asset. And 13 years have passed, and then Bitcoin has its unique economic zone, and also there is a market for that. The LDP has been monitoring that. 2020, 2021, we've seen Web3 movement, including NFT. But we thought that maybe this has nothing to do with us. But since last year, we realized that we cannot avoid this. This NFT economy will be overlapping with Japanese growth strategy. So I started in January the Web3 committee, and then produced a white paper in March. And since it is January, we picked up all the issues and then concerns, and then could be the possible solutions. So as a version 1, we produced a white paper in March. So every other week or every month, we will be holding workshops and modifying this report. So unless LDP works on it, that no ministry takes up this Web3 issue. So first, LDP will create a white paper and then make sure that this is going to be digital-friendly laws. The laws up to now are not digital-friendly, any type of law. And that is only in the verticals. Let's say taxi is only in taxi industry, restaurants are only in restaurant industry. So everything is separated as a vertical, and you have to have a certificate and an approval from the authorities. But when it comes to digital, it is cross-ministerial items. So that's why the government is currently working on it and then having a difficulty whether the regulation reform or modifying the tax system. It is a big, huge conundrum for them. Under Kishida administration, one thing has changed: the new capitalism. The word new capitalism, and I was not sure what the new capitalism means. And finally, I started seeing that the Prime Minister visited UK and gave a talk and also new capitalism. He also gave a press conference about the new capitalism. So he incorporated all the things that we proposed as the committee, even for the Japanese basic strategy, and also the manifesto of the upper house election also included Web3. So investment into people, digital technology, and then green. These are the core of the growth strategy. But we are shifting from the material economy to the digital economy, and we cannot avoid that. So the physical economy or material economy based upon the issued currency. And there is no attractive the things to really consume that. So we really have to digitalize new value and absorb these money. And I've been listening to your sessions. The accounting laws are rather vague, and also hackings and digital assets. Can we really keep it? And NFT are all closely related to the digital assets or linked to the digital assets. So besides these concerns, what we have to do is to digitalize values and incorporate that new value into the capitalism. So the current government is showing the direction for that. But when it comes to Japan as a government, Japanese are good at giving a solution to a very small concerns. Of course, it takes too much time sometimes to check all the negative things, but at a certain point, you really have to build a trust. Unless you have a very solid trust, the business or the project itself will be disrupted. The American president, and even though looking at his executive orders, like asking all the agency to provide a report on this new economy, but even in the United States, you don't know that's what's going to do about this new capitalism. There are many people who are opposed to it. So in Japan, we don't have so much powerful people who are against this economy. There are so many people who don't understand about the Web3, but I should say Japan is the Web3 friendly country. There are several reasons for that. First of all, that DAO, the distributed or distribution concept, began long time ago. We had been having DAO-like, such as the river control, water control, like when it comes to the water rights. Even in the Edo era, that the right to use water from the river is almost like a DAO. We are agricultural people, so that using the same water source and cultivating the rice, we respect each other. We distribute the resources evenly. So Murakoshi Mura's Toko, the 800 people live in Yamakoshi. It sounds a bit dubious, but it is good. So that's why people are supporting them. And token holders visit the Yamakoshi village, and the villagers say, "Welcome home." So I think that is like very Japanese. And as a politician, Masayoshi Ohira was the first person to mention about it. 1979, that he created the forest or the agriculture-based the company or garden city strategy. The centralized policy or decentralized policy, discussing about two as a different things are nonsense, because you have to have the both. But when it comes to local government, they have to decide on their own. The local people must think about how to be sustainable on their own. So that 1979, Mr. Ohira, Prime Minister, had talked about the sustainability. And at that time, the Prime Minister Tanaka really focusing on how to develop the rural areas. But Mr. Ohira was talking about how to protect the environment. And each community, local community, must decide on their own. And one thing we had some discrepancy. That was the discrepancy in the information. People living in the city, people living in the rural area, it's a huge gap in the level of information. Because people get together, share information, the innovation happens there. So, but we have fiber optics. 99.9% of the local area has fiber optics, even in the island. So we're about to do 5G. So we have huge infrastructure, invested enormously into infrastructure. It is very much Japanese, perfectionist.
So the next question is, how are we going to utilize this? So in the world of Web3, there are a lot of digital establishing new startup. So Japan could be an experiment field. And I think we should fulfill that role. So many entrepreneurs starting new business in Japan. And Japan have a certain, of course, degree of market. So if they do succeed in this market, then it's quite a mature market to start off with. So maybe in Asia, in wider region, it would be able to roll out. So that's my hope in wanting Japan to function such role. So in terms of notion of digital, when I was a minister, no one to be left behind. The notion of no one to be left behind was a major concept that I have hoisted. So listening to Web3 today, I think many of them will be left behind, majority of them. But the big but is, I believe that this is the starting point in the Web3 world. Now many of the people, the mass, in their smartphone, if they could be concluded. I'm sure that will happen in the near future if we all can work together. So then, we don't know what, but it looks exciting and fun. And something was going to happen. So then, it leads to no one being left behind. So, wanting NFT, because everyone knows that there's a value to NFT. The status of having an NFT or being part of the community or maybe supporting that artist. There are a lot of different means to that. But without doubt, this is a value, a set of value that resides within NFT. So to this value, you would like to pay that consideration. And many people are, of course, wanting to pay that consideration. So Japan, the so-called digital asset, in terms of there's no property right in terms of the civil law. And the civil law, when we talk about property right, is tangible or either intangible. So intangible have no properties. So, but there's a usage right. So that's how the law is being framed. So this is kind of complicated. So putting this aside, in other words, Japan, the Web3 in a more secure manner involving the citizen, we have that capability without doubt. So to the people of the world, I hope this will be well embraced. And in terms of what we need to do, in terms of taxation, the governance token, the taxation to governance token, this is wrong, of course. So in terms of taxation for non-fixed sort of profit is illogical. So this is just following what others are doing. This is one thing. And also changing to different coin, there's also, let's say, a tax levy. That's also questionable as well. So not for the sake of money, taxation, the basic, of course, individual taxation scheme. This is going to be included in the financial profit taxation or capital taxation. That's kind of a little difficult. the hurdles are high. But in this friendly environment, creating this friendly environment, we like to create here in Japan. So all the people around the world, Web3, please consider starting Web3 here in Japan. And having your presence here in Japan, I hope many people would be interested in doing so. And if possible, in Shibuya City, because we have a mayor here from Shibuya who will also be happy to welcome you. So with that, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Hirai.